Hello, guys. Hi, everyone. Finally, that's the second week of our course. Yep. So good to see you're back and happy Tuesday evening. And I want to have a quick check-in before we dive in. Drop a plus in the chat if your brain is still working after 7 p.m. I mean, it's 7 p.m. So drop the plus in the chat. Like, if you want to study, if your brain is still working. Okay, I got it. Oh, that's lovely. Amazing. All right, I love the energy. Yes. So let's make it worth your time. And I want to say welcome back to our IT English book series. And today we're jumping into, I would say, one of the most real and sometimes emotionally charged parts of working in tech. It's called reviews. Whether you are reviewing someone else's code or nervously, waiting for the feedback on your own code, this process is about much more, much more than syntax and tabs. I would put it in these words. It's about communication. It's about collaboration. It's about learning how to give and receive feedback like a pro. And here will be a spoiler alert right now. Most of developers aren't afraid of code reviews because of the code. It's because of the way feedback is given. And that's what we'll tackle today. So I think we'll start. And yeah, let's start with the basic but powerful question. It's not, so what is code review really? I want to say, it's not just checking if someone added a semicolon or missed a bracket. At its core, code review is a collaborative process where developers review each other's code with three goals. So first of all, improve their code quality, then reduce bugs and errors, and share best practices and knowledges. It's not about catching someone doing something wrong. It's about helping the team write better code together. It's quality control and learning at once. And now I'm going to ask you a quick question for you. How often do you participate in code reviews? Weekly, sometimes, never? Just drop the word in the chat. I just want to get a feel for where we are as a group now. Just to get whether we're on the same page, what to start with. So how often do you participate? Ziraman writes sometimes. Okay. That happens, right? Never have one. I mean, we're preparing to have ones in the future, right? So let's get ready. Never. Okay. Okay. I see. Do we have here people who often participate in that activity? Oh, that happens occasionally, right? Never. Oh, in this case, this session will be super interesting for you. Now imagine this. You submit the code for review and you get a long list of critical comments. Be honest, what will be your first reaction? You may also type it in the chat. Will you be happy? Will you be angry? Will you be disappointed? What will be your reaction? Okay. Just click approve and don't read code well. I don't think it's the best approach, but so you submit the code review and you get the long list with critical comments, just criticism and comments. what will be your reaction? How would you feel? My first reaction, oh, minus my free time. I will have to tackle it all again. Yeah, I'll have to check it. I'll have to correct everything. Yeah, sure. So the truth is, how we give and receive feedback during code reviews is often just as important as the code itself, and that's exactly what we'll work on today. So we will start. Also, disappointing is just a piece of work, more hours to fix it. Exactly. I mean, I like your approach to come into this question. That's valid, sure. But we'll start with the basic, understanding the impact of feedback. So something that we all face, feedback. Whether you are writing your very first pull request or joining a cross-functional team, how feedback is given and received can seriously shape your whole experience in the team, in the company, in the field itself. And code review isn't just about catching bugs. It's about helping each other again grow, writing better code together, and learning. Remember, grow and learning. And there are different tones of feedback. And how we phrase things matters more than people think, than you think. Let's look at these three common types you will see on GitHub, GitLab, or even in, Slack threads. So we have this first kind, it's positive feedback that can build your confidence and encourage good practices. Like here we see, great job with logic. It's very readable, like good. So this kind of feedback might seem small, but it makes huge difference. It tells you that your effort is seen and appreciated. Even one short positive note can make someone feel more confident submitting their next PR. So you give yourself and you give other people confidence in working and production, even checking. It's not the criticism. Remember that. The next one is neutral feedback. Here, as you see on the slide, we suggest minor improvements without urgency. For example, maybe we could improve this part for better readability. So this one is great when you want to give helpful suggestions without sounding too pushy. It feels like a collaborative nudge, like, hey, let's do it together. Yeah, it's not the criticism. It's especially useful when you are reviewing someone more senior, or when you're not 100% sure your suggestion is better. Just worth exploring. Yeah, just worth discussion. And negative feedback. As you see here, that's something that can demotivate, confuse, if not delivered respectfully. I want to highlight this phrase, if not delivered respectfully. Like here, this is confusing. I don't understand why you did it this way. We've all seen it, or maybe we've written this type of feedback this way, something like this. And while it might be honest, it's risky. It puts the focus on the person instead of the code. It often triggers defensiveness. So instead of open collaboration, the person will start defend himself and will not be interested in discussion of the mistakes or improvements and so on and so forth. The same feedback could be more effective and more respectful if you ask, could you walk me through this part so I can understand it better? Or what was the idea behind this solution? Like, what was the idea? Not like, hey, what did you think about when writing it? No, what was the idea behind this solution? So I want also a quick check in, like, which type of feedback do you usually see in your team or internships, like positive, neutral, or negative? So just type one word in the chat. You may even paste a real example if you have one. I mean, why not? So what's the feedback you usually get? Or maybe give. Positive, neutral. Questions, I see questions. No feedback. I mean, from my experience, I thought that people usually get whether neutral, whether negative, because positive we kind of eliminate sometimes because we don't want to sound like we are bragging about or we are. So yeah. Okay. And I have actually a tip for you. Learning to spot the tone of feedback helps you react better. And learning to give balanced feedback, that's a real soft skill tech teams notice. Because we know that this field, it's not only about tech stack, but also about soft skills that usually are undervalued. So, plus, okay, I see this pluses, good. So let's talk about what actually makes feedback good, not just nice, but helpful. Sometimes we get feedback that feels polite, but vague. I mean, not understandable. Okay, it's good, but what exactly do I have to do? Other times it's blunt, like just criticism and too direct, but we don't know what to do with it. So how do you strike the balance? Question for us to think about. And here are 3 ingredients like every useful comment, feedback should have. So first of all, clear and specific. I like how you optimize the loop on line 23. So this kind of feedback works because it's focused. You know exactly what they're referring to, not guessing. It shows that the reviewer paid attention and noticed your work. Yeah. So specific, which line, what particular are we talking about, and so on and so forth. Yeah. The next one is actionable. Like we have here, consider using a map instead of a for loop for better readability. So notice the phrase, consider using, because it suggests a change without sounding like an order, like you have to consider using. This type of feedback gives you a direction where you need to move and not just a problem like, hey, yeah, here's a problem, just solve it. No, you understand where exactly you have to move to. Then respectful, like here, would it make sense to refactor these for clarity? And this is how you can question or challenge something without putting the other person on the defensive mode. Like, it opens the dialogue. So you provoke the dialogue instead of shutting out the door of communication. So now I want to hear from you. Think of the last time you received feedback. Was it clear? Was it useful? Type yes or no, or plus and minus in the chat if you want. So just plus and minus. The last time you got feedback, was it clear? Was it actionable? Was it useful, respectful, or not really? How was it? Yeah, that's super interesting topic. Okay, plus that was useful, that was clear. Great. Waiting for others too. Positive. Okay, good. Lovely. Okay, lucky you to work in these environments. Oh my gosh, my earpods are dropping off. That's okay. Okay. Lovely. I just want you to reflect personally to understand where to start for you. So, yep. Okay. Let's shift from what makes good feedback to how we actually say it. This slide is your code review survival kit. Like a few essential sentence patterns that can help you give feedback that's polite, constructive, and actually helpful. Whether you are pointing out something great, suggesting a change, or just, asking for clarification for help, how you say it really matters. So let's go through each group quickly. First of all, it's highlighting good practices. So use these when you want to build confidence and reinforce what works. Like well-structured logic, nice use of React hooks here. I like the way you handle error stakes in this part. And note, even one short compliment can make your teammates' day and can motivate them to work better. The next option is suggesting improvements. This is where tone matters most. These phrases soften your suggestions while, they are still clear. We're still being clear. For example, consider optimizing the loop here. Yeah. Or have you thought about extracting this into a helper function? Or it might be clearer if we added comments. And here I have a tip for you. You're not the boss. You're helping improve the code, not judging the person. And you want the same attitude to yourself and to your codes. The next one is asking for clarification. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just to ask. So could you explain why we're using this approach here? Or, I'm not sure I understand how this part connects to the previous step. Like, could you explain it to me, please? Or would you mind walking me through this loop logic? So ask like a curious teammate, not a, detective looking for errors or bugs or something. And the next one is recommending alternatives. When something could be better, but you are not 100% sure. Like, maybe we could try like a ternary here instead. Or would it make sense to break this into smaller components? Or, what do you think about using a map instead of a for loop? Or something like that. So you want to practice, I guess. In a moment, I will show you a tiny code snippet with an issue. Here you see it. Oh, yeah. So this is a typical real-world code snippet. It's functional, but not the most efficient, modern way to loop through an array. So here, I also gave you a hint that this code can be optimized for readability and speed. So try this. Use one of the categories from above and drop your version in the chat. Like, you may suggest improvement, like recommend alternative, ask for clarification. So yeah, just want you to practice a bit. So what was that? Any ideas? Yeah, so drop your variations in the chat, your answers, and I will comment to them. So whether it's good, what we can improve, how we can improve this code, and so on. A bit tricky, like just for me, but still can be optimized. While you're writing your own ideas, I can suggest you a few of my examples. So we could say like, hey, could you explain why you chose a basic loop over something more modern? Like, I just want to hear your idea here. Okay. I see the one. Could you explain why it's not working? That is straightforward. That's straightforward, really. I don't know, like here, maybe we could make it a bit more mild. Like, could you explain why you decided to use this? Because I think it will not work. Or hey, could you help me with that, because I'm not sure it works for me, or it's working. It works, but why? Okay. Too straightforward. Like, hey, why do you think it works? But how would you use these phrases to put it in this context? So, yeah. Still waiting for some answers. Okay, while I'm waiting, still let's come back to the previous one. Yeah. So, for example, Tatiana, could you explain why it's not working? It's actually useful, but here we can make it more specific. Like, as I think so. Like, what exactly isn't working? So you could specify, give more instances, give more specific stuff. And are there any errors in the message? Like, what result did you expect? You can also describe it. You can also describe it. The next one, Raman, your one. It works, but why? It also useful. That's a great question, because this kind of curiosity that makes a stronger developer. Good, but if we go deeper, you may ask, like, what do you think is happening step by step? Or why do you think this code gives the right result? Or could you walk me through these steps? Yeah. So try to explain it in your own words, like that. So asking people to clarify the steps. Then I see, Timur, from your one, like, could you explain to me why JavaScript is good option here, please? Okay. I mean, do you want me? I thought that you want me to explain it. Yeah, I like that it's good. I mean, it's good because you show your curiosity, you ask for help, you ask for collaboration with the person, and yeah, that looks well. Yeah. Then the next one from Tatiana, maybe we could try another structure. Oh yeah, exactly. Maybe we could try. Yes, sure. So again, this recommendation, this alternative that you suggest, that what makes it work, right? That what makes it a strong answer, a strong reply. Okay. So, you know what I'm going to tell you before we wrap up? Yeah, I know that was so fast, but time is up. Let's pause and reflect a little. Just drop one word in the chat that best describes how you think your feedback would be received, or how you think you improved the way you provide feedback. Like, honest answers only. If you are not sure, that's also an answer. Like, it just means there is room to reflect and to grow, so it's totally fine. Okay, I see. I see from one more. Yeah, would it make sense to use it in the next hour sprint? Okay, Sergey, I like this one because I would say that's a great initiative. Let me think. Yeah, so we can additionally ask, like, do you think it solves the real problem we're facing? Like, will it save our time or reduce complexity or is our team, was the team ready to work with it, something like that, because to add some extra questions, because that's a tricky question. Would it make sense to use it in our next sprint? Like, why do you think so? But if you ask additional questions, that will break it down, so it will be better. Oh, Tatiana, I say yeah, okay. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. What about other guys? I thought that's like examples that might be helpful, that might be harsh, that might be polite, that can be vague. I mean, why not? And I will read a few out loud. And let's see what the vibe of this group is like. Too formal and polite. I think it could sometimes be scary, especially for something small. For something small, what are you putting in these words? Yeah, sure. We shouldn't sound like we are robots or we are reading the script or something like that. That's why we have here, maybe we could try putting this in this. We're not saying like, I think that would be a good opportunity for us to consider doing this instead of this. No, nobody says this way, right? Nobody. That's why we will tackle it a bit in a more, have a look, human-like way, but still professional, because we shouldn't mix, like, mix these two things. Okay. Lovely. So we stopped here, and in a moment I will switch into Ukrainian, so awfully sorry. Awfully sorry. Зараз на хвилинку перейду на українську, тому що хочу поділитись дуже класною новиною. Пам'ятаєте, минулого тижня я згадувала, що ми готуємо для вас щось особливе на літо. І от нарешті це все готово. Супер, клас. Ми запускаємо короткий практичний інтенсив з розмовної англійської, створений саме для студентів IT-VDN. Теми не випадкові, це саме те, що ми опрацьовуємо тут на вебінарах. Тобто мережеві розмови, демо-зустрічі, комунікація з замовниками, носіями і так далі, і так далі. Сорі. Головне питання, навіщо цей курс? YouTube – це супер, але щоб реально заговорити, потрібна жива практика, краще це в малій групі, звісно, і щоб ми це відшліфовували вже на ваших прикладах, тобто off the top. Тут якраз той формат, де ви будете не просто слухати, як тут, і писати в коментарях, що, звісно, дуже круто, і я б навіть навпаки ставила плюсики, щоб ще більше людей практикувались в коментарях. А на курсі, звісно, дійсно практикувати щодня в режимі лайв. Щотижня в режимі лайв. Хочу сказати, що тут є два пакети. Перший – це Pro. Боже, в мене вже, знаєте, трошки англійська і українська. Усе, що потрібно для якісної практики. Це уроки, це домашки, це лексичні гайди, звісно, підтримка. Без цього нікуди. Та пакет преміум. Ще й щотижневі розмовні клуби з викладачем та і плюс відеокурс бізнес-англійською у подарунок. Знаєте, це прям пак. Берей, забирай, знаєте, як то кажуть. Курс триває лише 3 тижні, тобто це ідеальний формат. Коротко, інтенсивно, з фокусом на результат. Ціна дуже дружня, спеціально для студентів IT-VDN. І якщо ви залишите заявку сьогодні, то ви ще й знижку отримаєте. Guys, I'm sorry. Завелик. І хочу, щоб це був як стейтмент, можливо, щось на кшталт. Поки всі відпочивають, ми прокачуємо свої скіли. Тому я думаю, це буде класна ініціатива, думаю, це буде класна практика ще додатково відшліфувати все те, що ми з вами тут практикуємо, що ми з вами тут робимо. Тому drop a plus in the chat if you are interested in it. Drop a plus in the chat. That sounds something like good. Okay, good. So guys, yeah, you see I switched back into English. That's a bit just more relevant for me or something. So in this case, I want to say thank you for being present today. Have a nice evening, and don't forget to use this opportunity because again, what's the price? Our support manager will contact about the price about that. But the thing I want to say that again, for the students of activity and that will be with the, with the sale, like a big sale. So yeah, good. Any more questions, guys, that are left for me? Anything? Yeah, I know there's a bit different lag, so you might write and I will read it a bit later on the internet. Plus, Vitaly, thank you. That's great. Okay. Good. So, if no questions, have a great evening. Dmitry, you have a question to me? What exactly? Thank you. Yeah, Tatiana. Okay, great. So, guys, remember, if you have questions, you may also ask me in our chats, solid ITVD and chat where we are all present. So just let's communicate there if it happens to you have a question. So have a nice evening and see you soon in 2 days. Bye, guys.